everyone, I'm Emma from Get Spiritual, giving you insights and practical advice for a more spiritual, fulfilling life. I wanted to do a video about self-esteem because it is something that I've struggled with over the years, and I think I can provide you with a really interesting perspective on it from the spiritual point of view, because I don't see a lot of that on the internet with proper practical advice about how to maintain your self-esteem. So here's what I've learned to try and help you. Firstly, I've had a thought about why self-esteem is so hard, and I think it's down to three main reasons. The first one is our society, the societal reason, because life is seen as a struggle to reach the top, competition for limited rewards and resources, and society really always focuses us on how we should strive to do better, with constant comments for improvements and criticism, at school and at work, where we have appraisals and, we have tests on what we should do to improve. So with so much opinion aimed at us that is constantly chipping away at our self-confidence, no wonder we have a problem with self-esteem. Self-esteem needs to be replenished. In fact, I think I read some kind of statistic about the upbringing of children which said that you have to praise 6 times more than you have to criticise if you want the child to grow up with a positive opinion of itself. And now we never do that to ourselves, do we? Neither does society. The second reason is a habitual reason, because over the years we have unwittingly, without even thinking about it, developed habits that enforce behaviour that isn't good for our self-esteem. And we don't realise when we're attacking our own self-worth. We've become used to criticising ourselves to try and protect us from others' negativity by sort of fixing ourselves before others undermine us so that we're ready for the criticism. So you might have prepared a piece of work at work to hand in, and you're thinking, what might they not like about it? Where should I improve it? Where might it fall down? And really, that's quite an exhausting thing, isn't it? We don't sit there and think, well, this is fantastic. I like that bit about it. I like that bit about it. We always start from the what could go wrong, this place of fear. So, and that really doesn't help with our negative self-talk. So I bet you're like me at times. Do you endure a constant commentary in your mind all day that berates you to hurry up? You're being stupid, suggests, what if they're thinking badly of me, or warning you that you might not be successful at what you're setting out to do. No wonder so many of us struggle with anxiety, and we're preparing ourselves for situations that are mostly not true or might not even happen. And our brains have wired themselves, our neurons have wired into a habit of self-criticism that we just do it without even thinking. That's a hard thing to unpick. And finally, there's a spiritual reason. Many spiritual teachers tell us that our souls are all little fractals of God or source, or whatever you'd like to call the divine infinity. For ease of speech, I'll just say God. Apparently God separated him, her, itself into countless pieces so that it could experience and know itself from infinite different angles. And we have incarnated on earth to forget about our perfect, magnificent, real identities in order to experience the opposite. So we're exploring it over many lifetimes under different circumstances from different angles so that we can gradually understand ourselves and rediscover our best selves. Because we can only truly appreciate our greatness when we've experienced what it's like to not feel great and to overcome our emotions of insignificance and low self-worth. The earthly experience is known as a tough one that not all souls have the inclination or the determination to overcome. And so we have low self-esteem because we are gradually rebuilding it from every perspective over different lifetimes. And we may be dealing with unresolved self-esteem issues that affected us during past lives. It is a huge self-esteem mountain to climb. So where do we start? How do we start building a solid foundation of self-esteem so that we're resilient and have really good levels of self-confidence? Well, to be honest, when I look at advice on improving self-esteem, it tends to instruct us to do things like affirmations to retrain the brain and raise your mood, like I am perfect just the way I am, I love myself unconditionally, or I am good enough. But I mean, what use is that if the little voice in your head is whispering, of course I'm not perfect, I lose my temper too much, I keep making mistakes, I'm at times not a very likeable person. So those affirmations can leave you feeling foolish. They make you feel like a real idiot when you're trying to say them, and they can sound really hollow. And also, other advice tends to be encouragements to love ourselves more, to be our own best friend, to be our own cheerleader. But if I actually dislike myself, I can't just switch on my likability. And if I've been raised to put others first and looking after myself first and, putting myself in the spotlight seems incredibly selfish. So then what do you do? But I mean, I'm not knocking affirmations and I'm not knocking, this sort of advice, because it is good, but it just may not be a good place to start if you feel, because you need a certain amount of self-esteem just to make it work. So let's look firstly at the word love, because there is a way you can start loving yourself today if you're doing it from the right perspective. Did you know that the word love in the English language is pretty problematic because it's an umbrella term for many different emotions? Apparently the Sanskrit language has 96 words for love. Ancient Persian has 80. Greek has 3, but English has only got 1. How about I love ice cream and I love my child? Very different levels of emotion. So if you don't feel that you love yourself very much at all, but you do want to do something about it, you may find it helpful to use some of the words associated with love within that umbrella term. And also, in his book, Power versus Force, David Hawkins mapped the emotions onto a pyramid. I don't know if you've seen it. And it ranks the lowest vibrations of feelings like shame and guilt at the bottom of the pyramid. And it goes up through apathy, courage, acceptance, right up to the highest vibrations of peace and enlightenment. Then it's much easier to change your feelings up through the stages gradually rather than, say, go straight from a lower vibration of anger straight up to joy. It's really very difficult to do that. So it's much easier to sort of build upwards slowly, starting with compassion, say, at the bottom, and upwards with respect, and then appreciation, then admiration, before arriving at the proper, deep feeling where you can say, I truly love myself. So I'm going to end the video with a little quick way of something you can do, something practical to give yourself some compassion and respect. And it's going to start by feeling really uncomfortable because it's called the mirror. What you have to do is stand in front of the mirror and look at your face. Now, if you're anything like me, immediately you'll hear in your mind little things like, oh my God, what do you look like? Look at those wrinkles. You look all wonky. And you look absolutely tired out, and I don't like your hair. I could go on. I have quite a strong commentary about how I look. But what I'd like you to do is to wait while you let your inner voice get the comments off its chest with an attitude of, yeah, okay, are we done? Breathe deep, let the comments roll off, and just envisage the commentary as a bitchy, envious roommate that you just don't need to take seriously. So remember that quote. I mean, it's quoted all the time. The eyes are the window to the soul. Well, in the stillness that remains, and now that all those comments are out of the way and you're just staring at yourself, look right into your eyes and just take a moment to see what your eyes are communicating. Look at your soul and remember what those eyes have seen throughout your lifetime, what your soul has dealt with. The times you've had to take a deep breath, draw on your courage and show up for life, even when you were fearful or you didn't want to, where you had to really steel yourself to do something. Remember the times that your eyes have looked at other people with compassion and made their lives better. Consider how you've grown over the years through all the experiences, the wisdom you've accumulated. You are a phenomenal soul who has had the courage to incarnate here on earth. And you have had a completely unique experience in your lifetime that no one else ever will. You've met different people, you've experienced different things in different ways, and no one else has had the collection of experiences and the impact on others that you have had in many small ways. You've overcome so much. You deserve to be respected. Tell yourself, well done. Rest for a moment and acknowledge your struggles and achievements, because our lives are mostly made up of lots of tiny achievements rather than the big life-changing ones, and that still makes us a very valuable person within our community. Making a difference in lots of different ways, little tiny ways, can be better than just one big thing that loads of others are talking about. So notice, instead of your faults, notice your courage, your wisdom, your resilience, your potential and your strength. See if you can resolve to take 5 seconds in the morning, when that little voice comes back criticising you, just notice your strengths to balance out the negative internal dialogue. I've got more to say about how to master your negative dialogue, but I think it deserves a separate video. So for now, I encourage you to acknowledge yourself more. Take a moment to tell yourself you did good when you tackle something you've had to steel yourself to do. And automatically don't take your negative internal messages as the unchallenged truth. This is what practicing self-love really is. Start with the compassion, and I'll be so pleased with you if you can do that a bit more. So start there and take it easy, and also treat yourself to something nice today because you deserve it, and that's self-love too. Now, I'm considering more videos on the topic of self-esteem, and I've had ideas like how to uncover your best self, how to be the boss of your internal dialogue, what to do with unhappy feelings and why they are a gift, protect your energy, and physical ways to lift your spirits so that you can feel better about yourself. So if you want more, like, share and subscribe, and I'll add more videos if I can see that there's a need for it. So for now, I'm sending you encouragement and positivity on your spiritual journey until the next time we meet. We're all in this together. We all have self-esteem problems. Hang on in there. And visit gospiritual.world on my internet site and on Insta for more resources. Until next time.